What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I greatly appreciate you guys being here. In today's video, I'll be going over a Mortal Kombat tier list. Oh, this is going to be great. I haven't done one of these in a while, and my opinions about Mortal Kombat games are always changing. So without further ado, let's break down this tier list. Let's do this. Before we start off with this tier list, I just want to say thank you guys so much for supporting this channel. It really means a lot seeing this channel grow, making new connections with all you guys, and a lot of friendships. So thank you so much. For this tier list, I won't be incorporating Mortal Kombat Gold since I never played Mortal Kombat Gold. I did play Mortal Kombat 4, but I never got to play Mortal Kombat Gold, so I can't give you an accurate ranking for this game since I never played it when it came out. I also won't be putting in Mortal Kombat Tournament Edition on the Game Boy Advance, and there's two trilogies here. I'll just be putting in this one, but I'll be referencing the PlayStation version. But I just don't want to put this one in because it looks kind of junky. So let's do this. So we'll start off with Mortal Kombat 2 since it's first at the list, and I think I'll put this one at A tier. I think A tier is a solid spot to put this one at. Maybe it might go to S later, but Mortal Kombat 2 was a huge step up from Mortal Kombat. I mean, they introduced an amazing roster, amazing maps, the graphics were better, the combos were better, we brought in awesome fatalities, awesome friendships. Overall, it's just a very solid game and a huge step up from Mortal Kombat. Next up, we have Mortal Kombat Mythology Sub-Zero, and you guys already know where this is going. Some people like it, and you know, it's a pretty bad game. It's not terrible, but it's not the greatest compared to what all of the other Mortal Kombat games has to offer. I'm very sorry, all you Mythology Sub-Zero fans out there, but it's got to go to the bottom. Next up on the list is Mortal Kombat Deception, and we might put this one at B. It might not be the very first spot in the B tier list, but it will definitely be in B tier. I think it's a solid middle ground for a Mortal Kombat game. This was a game that came right after Mortal Kombat 4 and Mortal Kombat Gold. It was still in the 3D era Mortal Kombat realm, and it was great. It was a great step up from Mortal Kombat 4. Not like a huge step up, I mean a huge step up for graphics and gameplay, sure. Every character got 3 different movesets, which was really awesome to see. The maps were cool, and the story of Deadly Alliance was really cool. How Shang Tsung and Quan Chi teamed up, killed Liu Kang. When you first open up the game, it gives you that cutscene, and they literally kill Liu Kang, which is absolutely crazy. But overall, Mortal Kombat Deception probably has to be in the B tier list. Moving on to this beauty of a game, Mortal Kombat Deception, straight to S tier. Oh, missed it. Straight to S tier. This game was absolutely one of the best Mortal Kombat games ever made. Right after Deadly Alliance came out, we got Deception, and this game was awesome. It introduced the Conquest mode where we got to play as Shujinko, and I absolutely loved that Conquest mode. I love it more than Mortal Kombat Armageddon's Conquest mode. They gave us puzzle combat, chess combat. Those modes were absolutely crazy. I wasn't even thinking that Mortal Kombat would put something like that into a Mortal Kombat game. The roster was awesome. The overall feel and aesthetic of that Mortal Kombat game was very dark, and it was an awesome game to play for sure. And who could forget the amazing skins that came from that game, especially Melina's and Sub-Zero's. Those were literally perfect. Next up, we have Mortal Kombat vs. DC Universe. That one has to go to C tier. Great idea, don't get me wrong, but it was definitely perfected in the Injustice realm of things, where we have Injustice games where we bring in Mortal Kombat characters as DLC characters. I think that was a better route to go, whereas we have Mortal Kombat vs. DC Universe here, where it wasn't really what we thought it was going to be. Less brutal. The fatalities weren't great at all, since it had to kind of keep it a PG kind of game, PG-13 game. Couldn't be a rated M for mature like we know Mortal Kombat usually is, how it's really gory, the fatalities are really gruesome. Mortal Kombat vs. DC Universe had to take that down a notch since we were incorporating DC characters. But it was a cool idea, but overall it has to go into the C tier list. Moving on to Mortal Kombat 4, again, I believe that's another game that belongs in the C tier list. I think it might go over Mortal Kombat vs. DC Universe, but it could go below Mortal Kombat vs. DC Universe. It was a good game. It was definitely not a step up from your Mortal Kombat 3, Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, Mortal Kombat Trilogy. I think it was a step down. Me personally, I'm not a huge fan of the 3D kind of fighter games. That's why I usually don't play Tekken anymore. I played Tekken when it was from Tekken 1 to Tekken 3. I played a little bit of Tekken 4, but I just can't really get a feel of that whole 3D fighter game. Moving on to Mortal Kombat 3, and I believe this game deserves a spot at the C tier list, not below Mortal Kombat 4, definitely above Mortal Kombat 4. It wasn't a huge step up from Mortal Kombat 2. It was regarding graphics and gameplay and whatnot. However, in terms of the roster, it wasn't the best. A lot of people were very disappointed that some of their favorite characters didn't make it onto the roster. Of course, it doesn't mean to say that some of the characters weren't amazing. They brought in so many cool characters like Cyrex, Sector, Shiva, Nightwolf, Striker, Sindel. There were many characters that they brought in that were absolutely really cool. However, in terms of comparing it to Mortal Kombat Trilogy and Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, you can see the parts where Mortal Kombat 3 lacks. And when people talk about the trilogy, Mortal Kombat 1 to Mortal Kombat 3, you usually don't see people mention Mortal Kombat 3. They usually end up mentioning Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, or sometimes even Mortal Kombat Trilogy, but mostly Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. Now onto Mortal Kombat X, and this game is so perfect, so much better than Mortal Kombat 11, and might be even better than Mortal Kombat 9, and it definitely deserves a spot up on top at S tier. It's definitely better than Mortal Kombat Deception, although Mortal Kombat Deception brought in so many cool game modes. Mortal Kombat X is such an amazing game, definitely has the best DLC out of every Mortal Kombat game ever made, especially when it comes to guest characters. Those guest character DLCs were literally perfect. We got Leatherface, Alien, Predator, and even Jason. Those 4 guest characters were so damn cool to see. It absolutely fit in with Mortal Kombat X's dark and gory vibe. Just like Mortal Kombat Deception, Mortal Kombat X had such a dark vibe to it, which I absolutely love for a Mortal Kombat game. The gameplay is much better than Mortal Kombat 9. I'm just gonna say that right off the bat here, guys. Mortal Kombat 9 had great gameplay, but Mortal Kombat X took that a step further. It was much more smoother. The button inputs were better. In order to do combos, they just felt much more smoother with those button inputs. The sprinting was brought in, which was absolutely amazing. Overall, this game might be better than Mortal Kombat 9, but it definitely deserves a spot in the S tier list. Moving on to Mortal Kombat 9, almost everybody's favorite game. It definitely has to go to S tier. I'm not too sure, guys, if I should put it before or after Mortal Kombat X, but let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Do you guys prefer Mortal Kombat X or Mortal Kombat 9? Here is my thought process by putting Mortal Kombat 9 under Mortal Kombat X. When I went back and played Mortal Kombat 9 when it was backwards compatible on the Xbox, I noticed how difficult it was. Well, not necessarily difficult, but I realized how smooth Mortal Kombat X and Mortal Kombat 11 are in comparison to Mortal Kombat 9. So gameplay wise, I think Mortal Kombat X probably has the best gameplay between Mortal Kombat 9 to Mortal Kombat 11. When it comes to roster, I think Mortal Kombat 9 probably has the best roster, but not the best DLC. That obviously goes to Mortal Kombat X with the best DLC and best guest characters. When it comes to maps, I think Mortal Kombat 9 definitely has the better maps over Mortal Kombat X. And game modes, I do think that Mortal Kombat 9 has better game modes than Mortal Kombat X, since it does have that extra tag team with the 2v2s in it. But it's really hard for me to make a firm and solid decision, so these two are definitely interchangeable. Honestly, I'm not really too sure. This can go in first, this can go over here. I'm not too sure. They're definitely interchangeable. They're such two amazing games. Moving on to Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks. Such an amazing and unique Mortal Kombat game. It definitely has to go to S tier because of the fact on how unique this Mortal Kombat game is, and I really believe that they should bring in a Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks 2. This time, however, it should take off with Liu Kang's story ending in Mortal Kombat 11, or Fire Guy Liu Kang's story ending in Mortal Kombat 11 to be more specific, where he goes back in time and meets the Great Kung Lao. I think that would be a perfect segue into Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks 2 with Fire Guy Liu Kang and the Great Kung Lao, where we had a Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks with Liu Kang and Kung Lao. This would be a great version to bring in a Shaolin Monks 2. On to the OG Mortal Kombat game. I think it's a solid game. It's not the best Mortal Kombat, but it is where it started everything that we know and love about Mortal Kombat. I think it has to go into the B tier. Like I said, it's not the best Mortal Kombat. It doesn't have the best game mechanics and doesn't really have the best graphics. Definitely has some very unique graphics for its time and started everything we know and love about Mortal Kombat. I'm gonna put it over Mortal Kombat Deception because of the fact that it's the OG game and it's what started everything. On to Mortal Kombat Armageddon, not the strongest out of the 3D era games, but one of the coolest, I think, and it definitely deserves a spot at the B tier. I don't think it's A tier worthy. I do think it's B tier, mainly because of the fact that they did take out a lot of the key things that makes Mortal Kombat Mortal Kombat. And one of the biggest things is the create a fatality, which was absolutely a terrible idea. Mortal Kombat is known for its gameplay, its gruesome fatalities, and in Mortal Kombat Armageddon they removed some gameplay features. So not only did we get a create a fatality, which I think was a terrible idea, but they also limited the amount of moves that all the characters had, since we had an enormous roster. So instead of having 3 movesets from Deadly Alliance and Deception, we were stripped down to 2 movesets. Of course, we got the combat cart and the puzzle combat and all that, which was really cool to see. However, I do think that Mortal Kombat Armageddon had a lot more to work work with. They should have taken their time on this. I know it was the last game that Midway was putting out, but they really should have put in their time instead of throwing every single character out there. Some characters even had the same skins and the same designs and the same moves, and they even removed some moves from a lot of characters, which I don't think was a great idea at all, and for that reason it has to hit the B tier. Now Mortal Kombat Trilogy. This is going straight to S tier. I think it's going to go actually at our #1 spot in S tier. This game was incredible. Not only was it the very first time where we had such a huge roster, but this is the first time where you can actually play as the boss characters, which is incredible. You could play as Shao Kahn, Goro, Kintaro, Motaro, and those guys were OP. I remember getting my ass whooped every single time by Motaro, Goro, Kintaro, and Shao Kahn whenever I would play with my cousins and family members. The combos were amazing. The gameplay was amazing. It was such a step up from Mortal Kombat 3 and Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. As much as people love Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, you gotta give credit where credit is due to Mortal Kombat Trilogy, since it brought in all the features from Mortal Kombat 3 and Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 and gave us more characters, awesome gameplay, awesome maps, all the boss characters. It was such an amazing game. Moving on to Mortal Kombat Special Forces. That's definitely going as probably one of the worst Mortal Kombat games of all time. Do I have to explain anything more for this game? On to Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. Now this might spark some controversy. I know there's a lot of people who love Mortal Kombat 2 and there's a lot of people who love Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. Sometimes these guys are interchangeable, but I do think that Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 is a better game than Mortal Kombat 2. This was a big improvement from Mortal Kombat 3 with the roster list. They brought back a lot of characters that people loved. Now obviously it's not Mortal Kombat Trilogy where they brought in so many characters, but it was a step up from Mortal Kombat 3, and Mortal Kombat 3 was a step up from Mortal Kombat 2 regarding graphics and gameplay. So seeing Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 where they brought back so many fan favorite characters, and as well as the sprinting, the gameplay, the graphics, overall it was just such an amazing game and definitely deserves a spot on the S tier list, because when a lot of people talk about the trilogy, they talk about Mortal Kombat 1, Mortal Kombat 2, and Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. And finally, the last game, Mortal Kombat 11, I think deserves a spot at the A tier list. And if this is a top 10 video, Mortal Kombat 11 would be #8 on this list. It's not even in the top 5. To me personally, Mortal Kombat 11 doesn't bring much to the table. Sure, it brought in some new gameplay, it brought in crushing blows, it brought in your offensive and defensive meter and customization, and as well it brought in towers of time, which is a really cool concept. However, overall, I don't think that Mortal Kombat 11 is such an amazing game. I know before I used to rank Mortal Kombat really high because I praised Mortal Kombat for all the new features that it gave us and content. However, trying to play that game now is just very difficult. I'm not a fan of the gameplay. I'm not really a fan of how slowed down the game is compared to Mortal Kombat 9 and Mortal Kombat X. They took away the pop-ups, they took away the grabbing out of the air, they took away the breakers and brought in this other breaking system which no one likes whatsoever. Crushing blows are cool. I just don't like the fact that you can do one uppercut crushing blow and then a fatal blow for a total of like 50 to 60%. So you're pressing 2 buttons for a total of 60%. I don't like that idea whatsoever. However, you gotta give credit where credit is due. There is a lot of customization. The crypt is absolutely amazing in that game, and I can't wait for them to bring that back in Mortal Kombat 12. Not only are all those features amazing, but the Towers of Time was such an amazing concept, especially those character towers. They gave us a lot of content, including a whole new story. Not a huge fan of the story whatsoever, but it's the content that kind of counts here. They gave us a lot, even though it wasn't the greatest. They did try their best to give us as much content as possible, but since it wasn't the greatest content, it has to be down towards the A tier list. But this is my tier list for all the Mortal Kombat games. Let me know in the comment section below, do you agree with this list? And if you don't, what are your guys' top 10 Mortal Kombat games of all time? Thank you guys so much for tuning into the video. I greatly appreciate it. If you guys are new, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and if you guys are returning, thank you guys so much for the support. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, and follow the Instagram page at The Island Boys, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Shoots.